All right, y'all. Welcome back to the podcast for another episode. It is Saturday, April the 5th, 2025. I am out this afternoon at my local nature preserve. It is a warm afternoon, needless to say, here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's about 88 degrees right now, but it's beautiful, nice breeze. A lot of people out at the nature preserve enjoying their Saturday afternoons. And I wanted to come on here and record a short, sweet, and to the point episode and talk to you about a few things coming up. First, I want to go over my InBody stats. I just weighed in this morning, had an awesome strength kettlebell ab workout this morning. And typically every Saturday I'll come out and do just a nice little hike around the nature preserve, kind of keep myself loosened up, shake things out. But I had my weigh in this morning, so I want to give y'all some stats on that. I want to talk to you about a couple film festivals that Austin and I are going to be involved in, or I should say Jester Wallis Productions is going to be involved in. And then here in about a week, I am going to be headed off to one of my favorite state parks to spend the week at the park and do as much hiking as I can. I'm calling it my spring break hiking training camp. So I'm going to talk to y'all about that. But first, here I go again, y'all. I don't know why I start these episodes going uphill, totally out of breath, but we're going to go for it. So my InBody stats this morning, the last episode I put out about this was in early January, may have been the first episode in January, where once a month I get on this scale / apparatus thing. And of course it tells me how much I weigh. It tells me how much body fat I have. Tells me how much muscle mass I have, and then it gives me like an overall score, a point score in me. I rank in my mind A, B, C, D, because I'm a teacher, right? So this morning I had an awesome weigh-in. I never go into these weigh-ins like having these huge expectations, and because I don't really change a lot month over month. My diet is pretty dialed in. My workouts are pretty dialed in. And when I say I don't change a lot, I'm very consistent with what I'm doing. And that is what is helping me be successful, is the commitment to the process and then the consistency of doing what I've set out to do, which is really just change my total lifestyle and the way I operate and become healthy in my next 50 years of life. So we are still working toward that. So the first stat I want to give you, and all of these stats, I'm giving you what's gone down over the last 7 months. So the very first time I stepped on the InBody was at the beginning of September. So all of the results from the beginning of September until this morning, April 5th, 2025. So a big thing I've been focusing on is trimming down and getting rid of my visceral fat. And I've talked about this before. This is all the fat like inside your stomach, surrounding your organs. And the InBody gives you a number. So at the beginning of September, my number was a 17, and that was considered very high. But this morning, over the last 7 months, I have dropped that down to a 12. So according to the stats on the InBody, when you start getting down to a 10, and typically they say women from 8 to 10, a score from 8 to 10, you are at a good visceral fat level. So y'all, over the last 7 months, I have dropped 5 total points which is awesome. And I can really tell, like in my shirts, like in my upper torso and in the fat area around my back and my lower back, I can really tell over these last 7 months, there has been a huge difference in this. So drop the visceral fat number. The next one, y'all, this is crazy. So my body fat mass, which is basically all the fat in my body, since September the 5th, the first weekend in September, until today, April the 5th, I have dropped 19.2 pounds of body fat. I mean, come on, y'all. That is awesome. And I couldn't believe it when I first saw it this morning. I was like, holy cow. Because you can look at your month over month, and then you can look over your whole statistical range since the first time you kind of stepped on the InBody scale. And I was like, Jesus, that is awesome. And I should say, thank you, Jesus. So anyway, body fat mass down 19.2 pounds. And then my muscle mass is up, which is awesome. So my muscle mass, overall muscle gain, is up 5.7 pounds. So to lose that amount of fat and also gain that amount of muscle, that is all due to various styles of strength training I've been doing, anything from lifting weights to kettlebells. And more recently, this past month, I have been focusing on boxing and kettlebells. And I'm telling y'all, it is working. I've also been focusing on my overall functional movement and mobility, because what I need to do this summer, I need my functional movement and mobility. It needs to be at the best it's ever been, and it's going to be. And I need to be stronger than ever, and I'm going to be. So we've still got all of April, all of May, and half of June before I hit my hiking this summer. So we've still got work to do, and we're headed in that positive direction. And then once you do all these things and it gives you all these statistics, you have an overall, what they call InBody score. And I talked about this more in that January episode. So my very first time I got on the InBody, my score was a 62. I mean, that was a D. And I'm not a D kind of person. So I just keep that in my mind as I go through and, do my weekly nutrition, do my weekly exercising. I keep in mind, I am not a D person. And y'all, I have graduated from a 65 to I am now a 75. So my score has increased massively. So I'm almost to the C plus B minus range. So I am really, really happy about that. Wanted to share those with you because I know I talked about that back in January, and I'm still moving and grooving. But y'all, sometimes there's not much to talk about. It's just, going through your daily activities, going to work, eating properly, going to work out. And sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. But the overall thing is that you stay consistent and you set a standard for yourself and you stick to that standard, and that is what I'm doing. So over this past week, I've decided, and I don't know why, it took me 51 and a half years to decide this. I am the chief executive officer of my health, of my body, of my strength, and everything that I want to do. Because if I don't take the reins and do it myself, nobody's going to do it for me. So I am my own chief executive officer of my health. So that is just the way I'm going to look at it. Because if you're the CEO of the company, everything's your fault. So it's my fault if I don't do what I need to do to get my body right. If I don't eat right, it's my own fault. I can make my own decisions. So that is the way I'm looking at it going forward. I am the CEO of Julie Gayhart, and it makes my mind in a proper mindset. It really helps me propel forward and put everything in a good perspective. So, closing out on that, awesome InBody results over these last 7 months. And now I want to move on to some exciting stuff happening over at the production company that I co-own with my business partner. You all know him, Austin Wallis. Our company is Jester Wallis Productions. And over this past year, we submitted our film, our most recent film, Safe and Found, a search and rescue documentary, to several film festivals. And we have been selected to an international film festival coming up. I'm going to stop here. It is actually called the RiverRun International Film Festival, coming up a week from tomorrow, April 13th, in Winston-Salem at 2 p.m. at the Reynolds Place Theater. We will be showing Safe and Found. How awesome is that? And then after the film, there is going to be a panel, and on that panel, I will actually be at the festival. There will be members of the Wake Forest Wilderness Medicine Program there, and then some local individuals from the Appalachian Search and Rescue Group. How cool is that? I know I keep saying that, but really, how cool is that? And the most awesome thing, I'll not say cool there, the most awesome thing is that the panel and the film is being sponsored that day by a local outfitter called Great Outdoor Provision Company. So thank you, Great Outdoor Provision Company. And an even more awesome thing is Austin and I had no idea that the outfitter was going to be doing this until the film schedule released on the RiverRun International Film official website. So I wanted to get this information out to you guys and invite each and every one of you that are anywhere near the Winston-Salem, North Carolina area to join us at 2 p.m. next Sunday, April 13th, for the showing of the film and then the panel afterwards. I would love to meet a bunch of you, and I would love for you all to enjoy the film. It is free. I'm going to put the website to the festival, to the film festival, in the show notes, because they are asking that people register because there's only a certain amount of seats in the theater. Even though the film is free, they want you to register. So that information, again, will be in the show notes, and I hope I see some of you all there who live in that area. All right, I also want to talk about, we have been asked to show Safe and Found at the Tri-State Outdoors Festival that is happening in Cumberland Gap, Tennessee, the weekend of July 19th. The film is going to kind of open the festival that weekend, and just wanted to give you all information about that. I know that's a couple months off, but I know a lot of you like to plan and put things on your calendar as well. So if you want something to do this summer in Eastern Tennessee, Cumberland Gap, Tennessee, outside of the mountains, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, you can attend the Tri-State Outdoor Film Festival. And y'all, I forgot her name, Mary, who is in charge of the festival, said they are expecting over 5,000 people to be at that festival in July. So again, how cool is that? Unfortunately, Austin and I, neither one of us will be at that festival. We are individually going to be out on our own summer adventures. So the artist of the film, you all know her. She's been on this podcast before. Heidi Nisbet will be representing us at the film festival. Her company, Sketching Summits, she's actually going to have a booth at the festival. So that is sure to be a good time as well. So wanted to fill you guys in on that, give you an opportunity to attend a film festival an outdoor festival where our film, Safe and Found, is going to be featured. And speaking of Jester Wallis Productions, if you all have not gone over on YouTube and subscribed to our channel, Jester Wallis Productions, it would mean a lot to me if you did that. The film right now, Safe and Found, we have over 27,500 views on that film, and we have 490 subscribers as of today. So I know there's 10 of you out there that would love to come over and see what we have going on our Jester Wallis Productions YouTube channel. We have recently been doing a Safe and Found Director's Cut series over the last 4 or 5 months. We have been going live and releasing behind the scenes, how we put the film together, behind the scenes interviews that did not quite make the film cut. But we just think this footage from the film is so good, we are starting to put more and more of that out there. So we've got our Director's Cut series, and then we just started a new series called Safe and Found, the Interview Vault, where we are going to start putting out the full uncut interviews from the film. We have had requests to do this, and a couple of weekends ago, we just released our first full interview. So that is out now, and the title of that interview is called The Architects. So a lot of goodness over on the Jester Wallis Productions YouTube channel. So just wanted to hop on here this Saturday afternoon. I hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. Give y'all some updates, give y'all some information. And again, I seem to be going uphill and I'm getting out of breath again, but y'all are used to that when I am out on the trail. So with that being said, I will round out this episode. Y'all, you got to pray for me this week. This is the final week before we head out to spring break. The students need a break. We as the teachers need a break. And hopefully we all won't kill each other this week before this coming Friday. But one more week until spring break. And then Sunday, I will be at the film festival premiere in Winston-Salem at 2 o'clock. And the information for all of this I'm talking about today will be in the description or the show notes. And then after the film festival, I will be headed to my hiking training camp. So the next episodes you will hear from me will be from that week of me training. I'm going to do some daily audio vlogging, just like I'm doing right here, and get that information out to you all, and have a great spring break. Until then, hopefully I'll see some of y'all at the festival coming up, and we can just have a good time enjoying the film and meeting each other. So y'all, enjoy your Saturday afternoon, the rest of this weekend, whenever you're listening to this. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Be safe out there. Thanks for listening, and happy section hiking.